The perfect laptop for you likely isn't the same laptop as, say, the perfect laptop for that guy over there. And with so many choices to pick from, how do you know what's right for you? My friends over at MSI invited me out to Micro Center to take a look at all of their laptop offerings. And well, today I'll be ranking which one is best for pure gaming, which one is best for productivity and schoolwork, and which one is the best price to performance if you're somewhere in between those two worlds. Starting with the most expensive laptop that we'll look at today as we work our way down to the cheapest, it's actually right here. This is the MSI Raider GE78 HX, and this is very clearly one of MSI's attempts at a top-of-the-line gaming laptop, because spec-wise, guess what? There's a 4090 in here, which is better than the GPU I'm using in my main computer. Granted, laptop GPUs and desktop GPUs are different. There's still a 4090 in here, so this should, on paper, be a gaming powerhouse. To pair with that, we also have an Intel Core i9-13950HX. That, of course, is an 8-core processor with 16 E-cores. We also have 64 gigabytes of DDR5 5200 megahertz RAM, as well as 2 terabytes of NVMe storage. And as a cherry on top, one of the nicest things about this laptop is the 17-inch Quad HD Plus IPS 240 Hz display. It also has a 99.9 watt-hour battery. If you're confused why that's not a clean 100, go ask the TSA. It's actually illegal to fly with devices with over 100 watt-hour batteries, so it maxes out with the legal battery size allowed. So yeah, looking at these specs, this thing is very clearly dedicated for heavy load tasks. Even outside of gaming, these kind of specs are great for 3D design, game development, video editing, all that jazz as well. Aesthetically, I've certainly seen more gamer-heavy gaming laptops. This little RGB ribbon definitely stands out the most. I personally like gaming laptops that don't look like gaming laptops, so I actually might cover up this red line on the back here just to make it look a little more discreet. There's also only a handful of RGB keys, which I personally like, but one of the main considerations for this is the weight. First of all, it's a 17-inch laptop and it's a beefy one. So carrying this around all day in your backpack, if you're using it for school, that'll give your shoulders a workout for sure. Now, given all of that, the Raider is currently $1,000 off, which seems crazy, but it's still $3K. By no means a cheap laptop, but let's be real, these kind of specs are nuts. But up next, let's take a look at the MSI Prestige 16 AI Studio. Now, I actually did have a hands-on look at these Prestige laptops back when the NPUs were first coming into fruition. And so because this has a built-in NPU, you know a lot of the talk here is going to be around AI and taking advantage of the neural network chip. Spec-wise, this has an Intel Core Ultra 9 185H as well as a 4070 GPU, 32 gigs of DDR5 RAM clocked at 6400 megahertz. Wow, that's actually really fast. A 2 terabyte SSD and a 16-inch 4K OLED display. A 4K OLED screen on a laptop is crazy, right? Granted, it is 60 Hz, so very clearly this is more productivity focused than pure gaming focused. And so out of the box, the Prestige can do a lot of things like AI noise cancellation. It has this spatial mic engine as well as its own built-in image generator thing, if you're into that. But very clearly leaning more towards content creation and productivity. So in that realm, the fact that it's lightweight is a huge plus. This one you could likely carry around all day without your shoulders getting sore, unlike the Raider that we just looked at. This one's currently $100 off for a sale price of $2,300, and I honestly don't think we're going to see a better looking screen than in this one. Moving on, the next laptop we'll look at is the MSI Vector 16. Now, similar to the Raider, this one is also $1,000 off for the current sale price of $1,800. So we are working our way down to more and more affordable. Spec-wise though, this does have an Intel Core i9-14900HX and is paired with an RTX 4060 as well. Now there are 2 different models of this one. So I believe the other option is an i9-13980HX plus a 4080. The 4060 model has 16 gigs of DDR5 RAM clocked at 5600 megahertz, and the 4080 model has 32 gigs. They both have a 1 terabyte SSD and a 16-inch Quad HD Plus display. With these kind of specs, this does feel like a middle-of-the-road option where you still want to play some higher-end games. And design-wise, it hits a pretty nice balance of gamer plus normal. Laptops like this one probably benefit the most from having DLSS with the NVIDIA chips. It should help pump out a few more frames while you're gaming, but this laptop also has the MSI Overboost Ultra technology, which should help pump even more frames out. So comparing this to the previous 2 laptops, it's not going to beat out the Raider in terms of pure gaming performance, and it's not going to beat out the Prestige in terms of pure productivity, so it is somewhere in the middle, and the price reflects that. $1,000 off, currently at $1,800. But okay, up next we have the little brother of the Prestige 16 Studio, which is the Prestige 13 AI Evo. This again does have one of the Intel Core Ultra processors with that built-in NPU, specifically the Intel Core Ultra 7 155H, and this is the first laptop today that does not have a dedicated GPU chip, so it's using those integrated Intel Arc graphics. That already says a lot about the intended use cases for this laptop, but it also has 32 gigs of DDR5 RAM clocked at 6400 megahertz, 1 terabyte SSD, all packaged with a 13.3-inch Quad HD Plus display. But again, it is clocked at 60 Hz, and with that integrated chip, you're likely not going to get the best performance out of, say, AAA titles. Can you still play your Fortnite, Counter-Strike, Minecraft classics? Of course you can. RAM. But this is still very much focused on productivity, everyday type of use. And this is likely the lightest laptop on this list today. This thing is a feather. I personally find it hard to work with anything less than a 15-inch screen on a laptop, but I know there are a ton of people that love the smaller screen. If that's you and you're mainly looking for a laptop for schoolwork, this honestly might be the one. Currently $50 off for a sale price of $1249.99, making it the cheapest laptop that we've looked at until the next one, which is the MSI Katana A15. Katana sounds intense. This is the first AMD powered laptop on the list. This has a Ryzen 7 8845 HX, which is a 3.8 gigahertz base, 5.1 gigahertz boost processor. This also has a 4070 inside of it with 16 gigs of DDR5 RAM clocked at 5600 megahertz, as well as a 1 terabyte Gen 4 SSD and a 15.6 inch quad HD display with an anti-glare covering 165 hertz. This is also our first laptop at sub $1,000 at $320 off, making it $999. And honestly, at that price point with these specs, this might be the best cost to performance ratio. It's got a 4070 in it, so you know it can keep up with gaming. It also has an 8-core 16-thread Ryzen chip inside of it, so productivity-wise, it should also be able to keep up. And this actually might be the best customer-rated laptop on this list as well. I think the size of this laptop is perfect. That 15.6 inches, I think, is the sweet spot. It's large enough to be productive and not feel cramped, while also not being too large where it's unwieldy to carry around. While this does only have a single NVMe out of the box, there is a way to install a second one by yourself. MSI actually allows you to fill out this form to get a free SSD upgrade kit. The fact that there is a way at all to add more storage to a laptop, that's awesome. Design-wise, it's actually fairly similar to the Vector in the fact that it's all kind of this matte black, but does have an RGB keyboard with some translucent gamer keys. But again, especially at $999, I do think this is a pretty nice mix of both gaming and productivity. So for schoolwork, it's got you covered. For gaming after school, also have you covered. This might be the best candidate for overall price to performance, but let's go ahead and check out the next laptop. This is the MSI Cyborg 15 AI. And this one seems to be the most gamer-focused design with all of this translucency built into the casing. I keep saying it, we yearn for transparent tech. It always comes back into style. As the cheapest laptop so far, this is currently $800 after $500 off. It has an Intel Core Ultra 7 155H, so again, that AI chip that has the built-in NPU, as well as an RTX 4050. So the least powered dedicated graphics card, but it does have a dedicated graphics card, unlike one of the Prestiges. That does mean it's a little less gaming powered, but other spec wise, it does have 16 gigs of DDR5 RAM clocked at 5600 megahertz, 1 terabyte SSD, and a 15.6 inch HD IPS display. Now it does have a 144 hertz refresh rate, so that is nice, and it's HD, so it's not going to be overexerting the 4050 as much if it was, say, a 1440p display. For light gaming and dealing with schoolwork, this should be totally fine. It is interesting, this has the highest tech cyberpunk translucent design, while also having the lowest specs on the list today. But that said, it's also the most affordable. And I do really like the fact that it has that 144 hertz display. When I was in school, I basically played League of Legends and Rocket League, which this kind of laptop would be totally fine playing. Well, that said, don't play League of Legends when you're in college. It's not worth it. Your productivity is begging you. By the way, all these laptops are on sale to some extent for MSI's back to school promotions at Micro Center. So I'll leave some links down below if you want to check them out, but just FYI. And okay, the last item that we're going to look at today isn't really a laptop, although it kind of is. It's the MSI Claw, which is MSI's exclusive handheld gaming device that can double as a mini PC technically, but I don't really think a lot of people are using it for a computer. It is the first handheld that's powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, and while this device did have a bit of a rocky launch, but I do believe they've come out with some performance updates via software. That said, you should definitely do your research when looking at handhelds. The market is surprisingly competitive right now, but spec-wise, the MSI Claw does have that Intel Core Ultra 7 155H, so again, that NPU CPU, Intel Arc integrated graphics, 16 gigs DDR5 clocked at 6400 megahertz, 1 terabyte SSD, and a 7-inch HD IPS touchscreen with 120 hertz. Design-wise, I do really like these RGB analog sticks and the fact that there are Hall effect joysticks and triggers for extra longevity. And the speakers on this are really great. It's currently $50 off for a sale price of $750. So out of these 7 MSI laptops, the Raider is definitely the top pick for the gaming specific focus. 4080 240 hertz display, this thing's a powerhouse at $3,000. Now on the pure schoolwork and productivity side, you could also make an argument for the Raider as well, but I do not want to carry around that 17-inch honking laptop everywhere I go in class. So for schoolwork, I'm gonna go with the Prestige 16 AI Studio. It has the Core Ultra 7 and a super nice display, lightweight, you can carry it everywhere on campus, should be good to go. But now for my favorite pick, that in between where you can game, you can also be productive with your schoolwork, I'm gonna go with the Katana. This one feels like it can do both. It has the 4070, it has the Ryzen chip, it also has my ideal 15.6 inch laptop size with a 1 165Hz display, so you can game on it. It has that 8-core, 16 threads. You can be productive on it. It is also less than $1,000. Well, $999, so $1 less. So those are my picks. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. As I mentioned, this is for MSI's back to school promotion at Micro Center, so you can head over there, get some good deals on these laptops. Let me know what you pick. So yeah, I've been Mr. Easter, your tech tinkerer, and I'll catch you in the next one. Aw, yeah.